and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavor show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into a really fascinating, quite high-stakes agricultural dispute. It's unfolding right now within a very close-knit community.
Yeah, and our source material for this is, well, unique. It's an audio drama excerpt, which gives us this really rich window into, character motivations, the real tangles of trust.
And how hard compromise can actually be defined.
Exactly. So our mission, if you like, is to unpack this. We'll look at what happens when business and, deeply held principles clash head-on.
We'll see these attempts at mediation and how personal struggles, financial worries, just everyday life really get woven into this bigger conflict.
And what does it all tell us? About communication, about loyalty, and maybe the human cost when the stakes get this high.
Okay, so for listeners following along, the tension at Home Farm, it's really hit a peak, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The core of it right now is Brian Aldridge. He's flat out refusing to harvest the wheat on Justin Elliott's BL estate.
And this isn't just, a simple contract thing. It feels much bigger.
Yeah.
A clash of values, maybe even identities.
Definitely identities. Brian's grievances are, they're deep. He's really strongly against Justin's rewilding ideas, hates them.
Right.
And even more, maybe, this plan for a huge concrete warehouse on the Beale estate land. For Brian, this just isn't proper farming.
Proper farming. That's his phrase, isn't it?
It is. And wilding, it often means taking land out of intensive production. For a traditional farmer like Brian, that feels like a threat to his whole way of life.
He seems convinced Justin only cares about money, loves a boardroom battle, as he puts it.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian's hope, it seems, is just that Justin will scrap these ridiculous plans and things will just go back to normal. Normal service will be resumed.
Yeah, it's like he expects the world to just fit his view of how farming should be. And what's really interesting is how confident Brian is.
He thinks he holds all the cards.
He seems to. He believes Home Farm is the only contractor available for this harvest. And he keeps mentioning this contract.
The watertight one.
Right, the one requiring 28 days notice. He sees that as his ace in the hole, his key leverage point. It's a classic negotiation tactic, banking on a contractual detail.
And the timing just plays right into his hands, doesn't it? Or seems to. The BL wheat is ready now. Its moisture content is right.
Exactly. While Home Farm's own wheat, it's not quite there yet. So Brian has this window to apply maximum pressure.
But Justin Elliott, he obviously sees it completely differently.
Oh, completely. He's clear he doesn't want to lose the harvest either. He just sees Brian as being totally obstinate.
And Justin claims he's already given ground.
Yeah, he says he's made compromises. He apparently reduced the rewilding plans, added a warehouse, his words, to lower the risk.
Interesting framing. Lower the risk.
Isn't it? And he even proposed a vertical farm for food production. Growing food in stacked layers, often indoors. A much more modern approach.
So Justin feels he's been flexible.
He does. He also mentions a feasibility study is already underway for these plans. So from his perspective, Brian is the one breaking the contract. It just shows how two people can see the same facts and come to opposite conclusions, eh?
And right in the thick of it, there's Stella.
Ah, Stella. Yes. Crucial character. She's got this incredibly difficult dual role. Farm manager for Home Farm.
Brian's farm.
Right. And also a non-executive director of BL, Justin's company.
Wow. Talk about being stuck in the middle.
Exactly. She has professional obligations to both, as she puts it. So she's the mediator, but, her own positions are kind of on the line too. She needs a solution.
And she seems genuinely committed to finding one.
She really does. Stella keeps pushing for a mutually beneficial agreement. You can hear her frustration with all the maneuvering and bad feeling. She just wants to find some common ground.
But even getting them in the same room is a battle.
Oh, huge battle. Initially, Brian's like, Justin has to come to us. And Justin's saying, no way, not unless Brian asks me.
Classic standoff.
Ego, maybe. A lot of ego, I think. But Stella, she's persistent. She pushes, makes it personal, tells them how offended she is by it all. And she manages it. She gets them to agree to a face-to-face.
Quite a feat, given the animosity.
It really is. So they arranged this meeting at Stella's bungalow. The idea was, neutral territory, a calm summit.
Didn't exactly work out that way, did it?
Not even close, just unravels fast. Despite Stella really trying to keep things professional,
The accusations just start flying.
almost immediately, Brian accuses Justin straight up. Untrustworthy. Says he only cares about money, not loyalty, cooperation, community.
He's really drawing a line there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Justin's corporate world versus his farming identity.
He is, essentially painting it as an attack on his very being. And Justin, well, he hits back. Calls Brian a sore loser, accuses him of breaking the contract.
So just trading blows, no listening.
Seems like none at all, just digging deeper into their own positions. And then it gets really personal. Brian brings up the past. That awful incident with the contaminated feed, the AM, they call it.
Right, I remember that. Tragic.
And Brian implies it led to Jennifer's death. And then he connects that tragedy, that history, to Justin's current bloody-mindedness, suggesting it could cost Brian his family farm.
Wow, that's below the belt. Crossing a line from business dispute to something much darker.
Absolutely. Pulling in that kind of history, those deep wounds, it makes any kind of rational discussion pretty much impossible, doesn't it?
So how did it end? Predictably badly.
Predictably, yes. Brian storms out, furious, shouting that Justin's wheat can rot in the dirt, heads off to the pub.
And Justin.
He leaves too, gets in a final jab about a rotting harvester. So, yeah, no compromise, just anger, resentment. Feels like maybe irreparable damage.
So that's the core conflict. Raw, personal, intense.
But it's important, isn't it, to see this isn't happening in a vacuum. The source material does a great job showing how these big clashes ripple outwards. They connect with all the other stresses and rhythms of village life.
That's a great point. We need to widen the lens a bit. Because while Brian and Justin are locked in this battle, life goes on for everyone else with their own problems.
Exactly. Like Kate. She's dealing with this expensive mortgage. Really feeling the pinch.
So she's looking for a lodger.
Yeah, partly for the money, but also, she says, just for company. It really highlights those background financial pressures that are always there, you know? Pressures that can make people dig their heels in, like Brian and Justin are doing.
And finding a lodger isn't easy, apparently.
No, she's having these lodger woes, people not showing up for viewings, trying to barter the rent down, or they just seem like they'll stay in their rooms all the time. It's that everyday, low-level stress bubbling under the surface.
But there might be a solution. Kirsty has an idea.
Right, Kirsty suggests Jakob. Turns out Chris Carter wants his cottage back, so Jakob suddenly needs a place. Urgently.
Ah, okay. Interconnected problems.
Always. Though Jakob is apparently annoyingly fussy, a viewing is planned. So you see these very personal, practical housing issues playing out right alongside the big farm drama.
It's fascinating how it all coexists. The mundane and the massive.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
While Brian and Justin are at war, you've got Phoebe's pregnancy moving along. She's glowing, apparently. And Brody can't wait to be a dad. That's lovely.
Nice bit of good news.
Then you have Susan, busy selling things at the village hall, which is buzzing because of the karate club and brownies. Just normal village life.
And there's a fete coming up.
Yes. Kirsty's organizing rural craft activities for it. A whole forest theme, printmaking, twig baskets, making musical instruments.
Sounds quite involved.
It does. And Helen's doing her bit too, organizing a heritage wooden stall for Bridge Farm. Going for that artisanal feel with fed cheeses, herbs, beetroot varieties.
That's cheeses.
Yeah, I think cheeses perhaps made with milk from specially fed cows, or maybe it's just a typo for fat. Anyway, she's aiming for quality.
Okay. Meanwhile, Kate missed out on getting a stall for spiritual home. Too busy with a lodger hunt, maybe.
Could be. It just shows everyone's got their own focus, their own priorities, even when big community dramas are unfolding.
Even a cricket match gets a mention.
It does. Henry's playing, and Linda is apparently fuming because the team's losing badly. Just these little snapshots, you know?
They really paint a picture, don't they? They ground the big conflict. They show that life, with all its small joys and frustrations, carries on around Brian and Justin. The community fabric is strained, maybe, but it's still there.
And when you put all these threads together, the farm fight, Kate's mortgage, Jakob needing a room, the fate planning, the cricket match, you really see how deeply intertwined everything is.
Financial pressures, personal relationships, community events, it's all connected.
It's rarely just business in a place like this, is it? It's always personal, too. One big argument can send ripples through everyone's day.
It shows the fragility, but also the resilience of a community like that.
Well put.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? Something to really think about. In communities like this one, where business and personal lives are just so tangled up, what are the real costs when trust completely evaporates like this?
That's a heavy one.
Yeah. Can you ever really get a lasting compromise when core principles clash so fiercely? Or is it always a case where, a win for one side inevitably means a huge loss for the other, beyond just the money?
And what's the emotional toll, the relational cost? Forget the balance sheet for a moment. What does this kind of deep conflict do to the people, to the community itself? And how long does that take to heal, if it ever fully does?
Something for all of us to ponder, I think.
So what are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just
And,
moving mics around.
So what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the archers. Any
Are you what we
movements
call Foley then?
and- kind of. Yep.
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
Yep. That's the ball bar. That's,
This one.
yep. That's.
Haley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline.
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever